empty fields stretching either side of the bitumen gradually began to show signs of civilization. A large billboard advertised the Drop Inn as the motel to stay in when you visited Widgery. Another sign, with pictures of frosty glasses of amber-coloured beer, attempted to lure the weary traveller into stopping for a drink at the local pub. The population sign, hanging a little wonky, boasted Widgery's population at 1,147. Kate gave a small scoff. Bit of false advertising on the council's behalf. Widgery consisted of a modest main street and 30 houses at the most. The inflated population was made up by including the surrounding properties that extended into one of the largest shires in the state. The late afternoon sunshine softened the edges of the small oasis that sprang up out of the dry, whiskey-coloured landscape around it. They drove down the deserted main street, passing a rural supply store, butcher and co-op, and a small department-style store, all of which were already shut for the night. There was a takeaway shop and small grocery store further along, though, both with their doors open. Part of her felt like a teenager again, passing the cafe where she and Jenny, her best friend, would escape to whenever they were in town. She remembered skipping piano lessons after school just so she could hang out with the town kids and escape the isolation of North Star for a few hours. Looking back now, she felt a surge of guilt. She'd barely given a moment's consideration to the fact that her grandmother had paid a hefty sum for those lessons she'd so casually ditched. Kate wondered what had happened to Jenny. She'd probably moved on years ago. Not many kids stuck around after high school unless they married a local farmer. Still, once they were all settled, she might make some inquiries and see if she could track down her old friend. As she drove further down the main street, with its original bull-nosed verandas shading old-fashioned storefronts, Kate half expected to see her grandmother step out of the fabric shop. She felt an unexpected ache in her chest at the thought of her lovely gran no longer being around. The drop-in appeared at the far end of the main street, across the road from the only pub. It was funny how this place had always seemed so exotic to her growing up. "Look, kids, there's a pool. We'll grab the key and have a swim before dinner." Liam rewarded her with a big smile, but Georgia just rolled her eyes. When Kate finally unlocked the door to their motel room, she was dying to slump down onto one of the beds for a moment, but Liam raced in to change into his swimmers. "Come on, Georgie. Get into your swimmers and come and cool off. It'll be nice," she said. But Georgia brushed past and flopped down on one of the single beds, arms crossed, defiantly. Kate pursed her lips and ran her hands through her brown hair. She was tired, hot, and emotional, and it was all she could do not to give in and have a good cry. But she had 2 tired, cranky, and very confused kids to worry about, and a mile-long list of things to do. The cement, still hot from the sweltering heat of the day, felt wonderful beneath her bare feet as she headed towards the pool. Bright paint and terracotta pots went a small way towards cheering up the pool area, though they failed to hide the fact that the little motel was long past its prime. Watching Liam playing around in the water brought a weary smile to her face as she lowered herself into the pool. For the first time in a long while, his little face was beaming with joy. Sinking beneath the surface, Kate let out a sigh as the cool water closed around her, washing away the tension of all those endless hours spent driving. It was wonderful to have finally arrived, although, of course, they weren't exactly there yet. The property her grandfather had left her was a few kilometres out of town, and she had to pick up the house key and sign the last of the paperwork.